Hi, government contractors. Today I want to talk about 10 deadly proposal mistakes that will kill government contract wins. I see some of these things you probably know about, others I see a lot of businesses make. In any case, it's good that you know these 10 mistakes so you avoid when you are writing your next proposal, because I want you to increase your win rate, and just avoiding these mistakes altogether will definitely help with that. So let's get into it. The first two mistakes I would like to highlight, and these are by far the easiest ones that you can just avoid and will definitely make an impact. One is deadlines. Really take deadlines seriously and make sure that you're submitting your proposal or bid at least 24 hours ahead of time. Get ready and make your deadline to be a day before the agency's deadline, because in a lot of cases, they disqualify submissions that were submitted after the deadline. So be very mindful of the deadlines. The second thing is ignoring instructions. Sometimes you will see in the submission instructions that they tell you it has to be, for example, a PDF, or you have to submit to this specific email, or it has to be in this font, this number of pages, this format, this length. And I know sometimes these details are buried somewhere in the solicitation or in the instructions, but make sure that you actually nail those down. And honestly, with SamSearch, with AI, you can just specifically ask for submission criteria, so you make sure you're not missing those. So make sure you're getting the number of pages correct, the format, the font, all of these things, just to not disqualify you or give them a reason to disqualify you over something that's not really significant. Now we get to more things that a lot of businesses, mistakes that a lot of businesses do, which is copy pasting. If you're just doing generic copy paste, whoever is on the receiving end, they get a lot of submissions and they can tell when you are copy pasting. So make sure you tailor your proposal specifically to that agency and to your business. So you want submissions that are tailored and not copy pasted. And if you're copy pasting, it's okay, but make sure that you are, especially with AI, make sure that it's tailored to the opportunity and to your business. You're not copy pasting something that could apply to any business or to any bid. And the second thing is also the evaluation criteria. Again, this could be resolved with AI. If you are ahead of time before you write your proposal, you are asking, for example, SamSearch AI, what are the evaluation criteria, and you're trying your best to follow each one of them and you're not missing out on them. This will improve your win rate by a lot, because in a lot of solicitations, they tell you specifically we're given 40 points to pricing, 20 points to past performances, and so on. You have to focus on these points that are giving you exactly what they care about, if it's the price or if it's the past performance. And your proposal should hit on these points and make sure that you are showing how, for example, your pricing is competitive, or you are showing your past performances if that's what they care about. So focus your effort on things that are mentioned in the evaluation criteria. Moving on to past performances, which a lot of businesses, especially starting off, it's like the chicken and the egg. How do I win a contract without having past performances? And how do I get past performances without winning a contract? It's the struggle of, it can go to infinity. What you need to do is actually start. If you don't have projects that, okay, if you do, highlight those ones so you can prove that you are a capable business of performing what they're asking for. If you are new, then partner, or make sure you're partnering with a subcontractor that has a long resume of past performances that could make your bid look competitive. Even if you have weak past performances as your business, you can always partner with subcontractors that have strong past performance record. Now, on to a really important one, and it's a tricky one, which comes down to pricing and setting bad expectation. So avoid overpromising. I think it's in our human nature to, when we feel not so confident, that we overpromise. So we can say, oh, I'll do this in 2 weeks, when I know realistically, and anyone who's in the business would know that it would take at least 2 months. Things like that, when you overpromise, especially with timeline, then you are losing your credibility. So you are trading, offering something competitive, but at the same time, you're not coming off as credible. So you have to make sure that you're not overpromising and you are setting right expectations. And the second thing, which hits on the same point, which is pricing. You have to price fairly. If you overprice or set your price too high, then it's going to be an issue for them. And if you set your price too low, then it's a red flag, because they know that something fishy is going on. So you have to price fairly and you have to set expectations correctly. And the way you do that is by making sure you're doing your research properly. You're getting the pricing right. You're getting the timeline right. And you also add a room or a buffer just in case things go wrong or your subcontractor is not able to finish by let's say the timeline they promised you. So you maybe add a week or two just in case. So you make sure you're setting expectations correctly. Now, this is very important, and it's specifically important with SAM.gov if you forget required certifications or forms. If they ask for SAM.gov registration, you have to have it. If you don't have it, it's a big deal. It's immediate no. If they ask, for example, it's a set aside and you're not providing documentation or anything to show them that you are a set aside, then it's a problem. So your registration, your SAM.gov registration, your set aside, if they ask for anything, then it's an immediate disqualification if you don't supply those. So always have a checklist based on the solicitation and just make sure you're checking, okay, set aside checked, SAM.gov registration check. Just so you make sure you're not, after you did all the work and you're submitting a bid and you miss your registration, then it's an issue. So make sure you have those required certifications and forms ready. Now, this one, it's not an immediate disqualification, but I would highly recommend that you double check your grammar. We as humans, we have bias, and when we read something that just is not, let's say the grammar is not correct, the styling is not nice, then by default, without even saying anything, we have bias against it. So having like a clean bid and your grammar being on point helps you a lot. Although it's not going to be the catalyst that can tell them, okay, we're going to go with this company, not that company. But just by default, we as humans, we have bias towards things that look correct or sound correct and look nice. So always have your grammar and typos checked. Maybe you can have an AI like SamSearch look at it and make sure that your AI is on point. If you write something, you could ask the AI to check for any grammar or typo mistakes. And also, what you could do if you're not sure about something, this is not related to grammar, but let's say you read something in the solicitations and in the solicitation and you don't understand it. Let's say a point is not clear in the evaluation criteria. What I highly recommend to do is within the Q&A window, you ask the contracting officer your questions. So usually in SAM.gov at the bottom, in the contact information, there are usually two contact people that you can reach out to. They have their email, in some cases the phone number. Make sure you send them emails with your questions in case something is not clear. This way, in case something is important, you don't ignore it because you don't understand it and you miss out on a bid. We are talking about a huge time investment when you are making a bid and writing a proposal. So following and adhering to these even small checkups, checklists, or even grammar checks would help you significantly. Now, so the takeaways from this is you have to plan ahead and tailor with care. Always have a tailored proposal to your business and to the solicitation you are making a bid for. And then be honest and clear. Do not overestimate your timeline, but at the same time, don't give them a timeline that's just not realistic. And same with pricing. Always engage with the contracting officers. Ask them questions if you need to ask them questions. And also, if you start early on in the pre-solicitation and the sources sought, you kind of try and develop a relationship. So always engage with them and make sure you proofread your proposal. So make sure you check for things like grammar and typos, because as I said, we as humans, we have bias. Even if they don't tell you, when we read something that just doesn't sound coherent, then we have bias against it. Same with styling. So make sure your proposal is styled correctly and it's clear of any grammar or typos. Thank you so much. I hope this was helpful. Make sure you avoid these 10 mistakes in your government contract proposal. It will help you and it will definitely improve your win rate. If you would like to win government contracts and make your life a lot easier, make sure to check samsearch.co. It's by far the easiest AI for government contracting. You can find government contracts, break them down using AI, and finally use AI to write proposals. And you can find contracts across the federal and the state and local and education level. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe. I appreciate everyone in the community that has been supporting me. It's been a great journey, and I wish you best of luck in your government contracting journey. Thank you. See you soon.